Hi everyone, this next video I'm going to be doing is on swaddling, and just to show you how to swaddle a baby using a big wrap. Obviously there are lots of swaddle blankets from various companies that you can buy that have Velcro or zip up, and you can use those as well if you want to, but I just wanted to show you how to swaddle with just a basic big muslin cloth, the large ones, or a big sheet, just to give you an idea of how to do it if you didn't have one of the zip up ones. And obviously the main thing now that you always need to make sure you're doing is we can swaddle the arms, which helps baby feel very safe and secure, but we always have to make sure we keep the hips free to just obviously abide by the rules of the Healthy Hips campaign, to make sure baby's got the free movement in their hips and you're not restricting the hips. So this is baby Finley here, who's not a real baby, but he looks like a real baby. He's the size and weight of a newborn. He's my daughter's reborn baby, so he is my little sleep prop and prop that I use for doing these videos. So well, this is just a basic huge like muslin sheet, okay? And the first thing we need to do is get the corner, so we fold it into a triangle. Now I'm going to lay this down so it's easier for you to see, but if you lay it out flat, basically you just need to get one corner and fold it down to the other, so we've got a big bit here to lay the baby in the middle. Okay, so we've got baby Finley here. Now we put his head so that we've got this bit that can go around his head and shoulders. All of this bottom bit we're going to leave free when we do it. We always do one side at a time. So if you just get the arm and just hold it across them like this, and we would put this part of the sheet over and tucked round under their bottom. So we've got it nice and tight here, but it's still loose around the hips. We're not doing it tight around the hips. Then the other arm, the same with that arm, loose, tight, sorry, across the arms and then tucked underneath. So we have the arms nice and snug, but we're still keeping it all very loose all around the bottom so the baby's hips are free. Okay, that's the first thing I was going to show you. The other thing is kind of how to position them when you're trying to settle them to sleep. So I tend to come to a lot of arrive at a lot of houses where the baby is wide awake, crying and very unhappy, and it's generally because they're very overtired. So there's three things I generally always ask for when I arrive. One is something to swaddle them in, another is a muslin, and the third is a dummy if parents are happy to use a dummy. So I would put the muslin over my shoulder and arm like this, swaddle the baby up how I've just shown you, and then I would pick them up and hold them quite close into me like this. This is mimicking the when they're in the womb, obviously they're very snug, held very tightly, which makes them feel safe and secure. So you need to try and mimic that whole scenario. So we would get them in this position, hold them. I generally usually stand up, and if we're going to use a dummy, I would use a dummy at the same time. The trick when you're putting a dummy in the mouth, obviously Finley's mouth doesn't open because he's not a real baby, but the trick when you're trying to get a baby to latch onto a dummy is to tilt the teat upwards slightly towards the roof of the mouth when you're trying to get them to latch on. Don't go sticking the dummy straight in directly towards the back of the throat, because they will gag and retch. You need to tease them around their mouth, but tilt it upwards as well. So when they start to root around like they would on the bottle or the breast, they will draw the dummy in. But as they do, like I said, make sure you tilt it up as they're drawing it into their mouth. And then once they've sucked it enough, you can just let it drop down so that it's into the centre of their mouth. Sometimes it will fall out again straight away. It might take you a few times to get them to latch onto it. Once you've got them to latch onto it, and I'm going to use Lauren's reborn dummy now, just because it's easy to keep into his mouth, because it's a special one for a reborn doll. Once it's in the mouth and they're holding it in, then I tend to put the muslin just at the side of their cheek, and like that, so that I've got two free hands to stand up, and I would put some white noise on then at the same time and pat their bottom in a heartbeat motion. So going boom, 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 with the white noise playing in the background. And that type of motion, the rocking plus the patting plus the holding them tight, will stop them crying literally within a few minutes, if you're doing all of those things at the same time. Like I said, I can arrive to lots of houses where I go to work as a maternity nurse, and I can arrive to a very upset, crying, overtired baby, and as soon as I do all of these things and get the baby in this position, they will stop crying within less than 5 minutes. Usually it's pretty instantaneous as soon as we start doing the shushing. So this is the easiest way to calm them when they're very overtired. You know, get them all snug, get them all cuddled into you, let them have the sucking motion that they want on a dummy. You don't always have to use a dummy if you don't want to. It will still work without a dummy, with babies who don't like a dummy. It's just that whole kind of feeling safe and secure and holding them really closely. So I hope that's all made sense, and I hope you find that helpful to try with your own babies, and I'll see you on another video sometime.